Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grave Mistakes. It's been a while since we've recorded last because we're adults with jobs. But today we're
Right.
going to be doing Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers, who's brought you fantastic other horror movies such as the Vivitch slash the Witch, the Northman, and the Lighthouse, which are probably his most iconic films.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding. When we turned around, everyone was dead. The stench of their bodies was horrible. Standing before me was death. But I'd never been so happy.
Yeah, so this is basically a classic retelling of multiple movies. I didn't realize how many movies that Nosferatu has. I guess it's like the Dracula of
Yeah,
the movie. So we get another retelling. This one came out in 2024. We have Bill Skarsgård, William Dafoe, Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, and it's about Thomas and his wife and their I would say three-way love triangle
it's already crazy, bro. It's already
with this
crazy.
undead demon who has come to visit them.
Yeah, man, this is Count Orlok. This is the OG cinema telling of the vampire story, and it's just an unsettling masterpiece. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous, despite the more outdated sections of some of the plot. Um, I will say, Lily Rose Depp, rent must have been due because
Brent was due.
she acted her soul out. So we get the opening scene. Man, so opening scene, we get Lily Rose Depp on the ground, bro. She in the forest, shucking and jiving. She, contorting herself. A lot of moaning, lot of moaning going on. Well, I guess we should describe the atmosphere in the theater. I saw this Christmas Day by my lonesome in a fully packed IMAX theater. Um,
Oh,
so so I had a very reactive audience. And
hmm
so when the first opening scene played, I heard some people's audience were like laughing. Mine were just confused. There was a lot of, hold on now. Is she doing what I think she's doing? Because we're getting these weird flashbacks of like
Right.
this demon situation.
So yeah, my theater, I can't really remember, but I was just trying to take in the scene because I think it starts with her opening up the window and just gazing upon like the night, and she's like, "Come to me." I'm like, "Well, who is she calling upon? Like, what's going on
Yeah,
here?"
what's happening?
I'm like, I guess she's a teenager in this scene as well. So, I maybe it's just this is some old stuff that used to happen back in the day. Like, is this like the quintessential teenager? And they're like, "Oh, something's wrong with them."
This this is the 1612 booty call, is what you're saying?
Right,
Yeah.
right. She's calling upon somebody. I'm not sure if she was looking for like just like the Lord or something. She's German, right? So I guess she's a Christian back then,
Honestly,
maybe.
this might be pardon my historical inaccuracies here, but this might like predate Germany, so this is like that Germanic Slavic section of the world. Wait, no. Yeah, I think Germany exists by
It's
this
like
point in time.
1830, so I think it's
Yeah.
probably Germany.
Yeah. Um man, I don't even like how do you even dive into this?
Yeah,
Like
so she like he answers her call, and at first it's like she's enjoying it, and then I don't know why, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just send you through some just." I can't even explain it. She just starts convulsing and is like, "Ah."
oh yeah, nah, she locked in. She
Yeah.
locked in. See, I'm for at this point in time, I was extremely unfamiliar with the original
Yeah,
Nosferatu
same
story.
here. I was gonna ask you, have you ever experienced it besides the one episode of SpongeBob when he's turning off the lights?
Oh, no, that's good. No, but I have heard the tropes that are copied over time. Like for example, like I knew Dracula slash Nosferatu has these other abilities, like these mind control powers and like all this other
Mhm.
stuff that is like kind of been overdone and like a revamped over time, and that he can't experience sunlight, and that like he's undead and sleeps in a coffin. Those things are very common to like the vampire trope, but I have never experienced or read like the original work. But I see why now, since he decided to be really faithful to the original. We basically got like Count Orlok lusting, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's like all about lust and desire.
It is, but I mean, there's a lot of themes in here that like make sense for the time, like perspectives on women and like like how they might have to feel shameful for their own like desires when it comes to sexual stuff, which is
Right.
So there's a lot of manifesting, and there, there's a lot of like, I guess like not mansplaining, but like toxic masculinity, I guess.
And you can really see it with like Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, like
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, Craven the Craven the Hunter when they're in the house and Ellen is like tweaking out and he's like, "What is she doing? She's a woman. Something's wrong with her."
By God, man!
Yes, that's a great example.
Yes. So we're cutting to the future, and we've got the amazing, legendary, sexy Nicholas Hoult. By this point, who is married to Lily Rose Depp's character Ellen, and so as a newlywed couple, they're very much in love, like kissing on the face constantly, can't separate from each other. And he's about the bag, all right. He's a hustler, 24/7, bag chaser. He gonna do anything for the money. So they do, in my opinion, they did a really good job of balancing his character between somebody who's like seriously, maybe overly focused on wealth, but like isn't a narcissistic asshole. Like he's not your
I think he's a good-natured person.
Yeah, he's not your Wolf of Wall Street kind of guy, but he's definitely like clouded. His judgment's clouded by wealth, which is funny because you can tell he's still of like maybe not of noble blood, but of like wealthy. Like because everything's class back then. When he leaves the house, he got the drip on, like the little neck scarf, like tie, big bowler or top hat, etc. So he works for this real estate company. He applied, and he pulls up. The boss is like, "Check it for your first assignment. You go drive all the way to Transylvania on your horse, and you go
a 6-week journey
by yourself." Yeah. He said basically there's this wealthy count in Transylvania named Count Orlok, and he's interested in buying this decrepit castle mansion thing that we've got here in this town. And I remember this scene is really funny because I remember thinking that his boss was weird as shit, and you could see these like big warts on his head. So I was like, I wonder if this character's going to be significant, which turns out later he is. He's like, "Pardon me, sir, but why can't we finish the deal here if he's moving?" And he's like, nah, bro. He insists, and I love that like old like trope in movies. It's all you had to say, bro. It's just like that's what he wants. That's what he wants to do. We gonna do it. Okay. Pulls up to his wife. He's like, "Ellen, I gotta set out on the 6-week journey so we can have money for real." And she's like, "Nah, gang. I had a vicious nightmare of the entire world ending if you go."
This is like one of my favorite scenes of her describing like her dream. She's like, "I'm at my wedding and I'm next to death, and all of my family and friends around me are dead, but yet I'm smiling and I've been happier. And I've never been happier than this." I'm like, yeah, that's literally what he's doing there.
And it's an actual stage performance. It's very theatrical, not very like it's not a very like. It's not reminiscent of a movie performance, if that makes sense. Like she's like, back of the hand on the forehead kind of situation, like staring out into the distance. So I kind of thought she was on bullshit because I wasn't really like, I was like,
really? Okay, I see.
I thought she was playing, like I thought she was just making a joke, but then she's like dead serious. I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, haha, women and their theatrics. He's like, that's just that this is before they called it depression, when they used to just call it the big sad melancholy, They were like, nah, that's just you tweaking again, shorty. You know how you used to be tweaking all the time? And she was like, nah, like, this don't feel good. He's like, I'ma go. And so he sets out on his journey, she starts freaking out and she's sad. And I'm not gonna lie, he traversed this plan. Like,
I was having this thing, like, this was maybe like a slight issue. Like he got there pretty quick, and I wasn't. How long did he ride on that horse until he got to the inn, or did he stay at multiple inns? I was so confused.
It's got to be multiple inns. It's got to be multiple inns, which like honestly better for storytelling because they still made it feel semi like a Game of Thrones travel where that motherfucker took long. So he eventually pulls up in Transylvania, and oh my god, like there's so many scenes in this movie that are beautiful and to be taken seriously, but because of how old the story is, it just feels silly in 2025, the literal future.
Yeah.
I remember you brought this up when you were talking outside the podcast. He pulls up and he's like, "What's up, y'all?" And everything is foreign to him. It's a very small village. Everyone's wearing different clothes. They speak a different language.
It's like an inn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're wearing a lot of furs and stuff, and they surround him and they're speaking like something totally different to him. And then this dude just starts going crazy, bro. He starts hitting that like that ham boning dance.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm unfamiliar with the culture, but he just makes direct eye contact and just starts jumping up and slapping his like knees and feet, and he's kind of doing it.
Mhm.
And that was kind of funny. I was just like, "What's going on? Is this a
Well,
dream?"
don't they just start laughing at him?
Yes. So they get to the big classic tough guy leaning on the post right before the entrance to the inn, and he just starts laughing at him, and everyone else starts laughing. I'm like, "Are these pirates? Like, what is happening right now?"
Aren't they supposed to be like quote unquote like gypsies? Is that like a
I think that's the
Pennsylvania type?
I think that's the derogatory term for this group of people in like
Oh, okay.
like
I had a feeling.
it's got like a negative count because that's what Count Orlok calls them.
Yeah, okay. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are dreams or nightmares. So I didn't know if this was another one. I didn't know if he was tweaking or not. But he eventually convinces the innkeeper because he's like, they're like, "What are your business here?" He's like, "I'm pulling up to the castle," and they're like, "Hell no, we don't even talk about that motherfucker."
That lady walks him to his room and she's like, please don't, please, please don't.
Yes.
And then he said, "I'm still go." I think she prays for him and then leaves.
Yeah, she's like this absolute dumbass white dude, and she starts hitting all that, and so yeah, he goes to sleep. He puts the bag down. He's like, "How does double your rent sound or double your stay sound?" They're like, "Bet, all right."
Yeah.
So bro wakes up in the middle of the night to some commotion, and we're already off to the races with the magic spooky shit.
Right. Yeah, we don't know if this is like a dream sequence or not, like you were saying before. We just like take a guess until we get like the aftermath of what actually happened. Well, yeah, we see like this parade of like this virgin on a horse, and they're just riding. Are they chanting as well? I can't remember. I know they're carrying torches.
There's definitely some witchcraft situation going on. I completely forgot about the fully naked woman on a horse, by the way.
On his horse, mind you. I'm pretty sure
horse. Because when he wakes up, he's like, "Where's my horse?"
Yeah. He just starts trekking it after.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he sees that they basically stake a vampire with a metal stake. Now, I'm copying a podcast who told me this information, so I'm stealing their information.
Oh, yes.
So through watching that podcast, I discovered that apparently the reason they metal stake the vampire in this scene is because that's true to the original storytelling of vampire lore. Wooden stakes came later, but it was originally a metal stake because the metal stake keeps them grounded. So like you stake them with a metal stake so they can't get up. It's more like a staple gun or like handcuffs instead of like a killing weapon.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, so he wakes up. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm about to say it's like this random corpse too, and it still has blood. Is it like actually a vampire?
I think so. My theory here, with absolutely zero research or revision of the lore here, is I think it's one of those zombie vampires. Like, because in the OG telling, it's kind of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. When a vampire bites someone, or like,
oh yeah, they become a vampire, right?
Yeah, they become like a zombie thing, like which is what the real estate broker. That
guy kind of is. I see. Okay.
Yeah, but it could be. I mean, I don't know. Like the shit was weird. So they stake bro, and then he gets to step in. So he pulls up in Count Orlok's castle. But this is the cool man. This scene is perfect. Like Robert Eggers did that. It's the scene where he's staring down the forest and it's like black and white, and the carriage magically pulls up.
Yeah, it's just like going as fast as possible. You hear the horses, them boys are pounding. It gets closer and closer. You think he's gonna get run over, and he just hits like the perfect drift, and he's just like,
yeah, the perfect drift. He's in a 2005 Toyota Supra, just turns that bitch. And then,
I was gonna say, I just love like the closer and closer he gets, or humans get to him, it feels like they're around like this miasma of they don't know what's reality or what's true.
Yeah.
And they just started off perfectly, man. And we don't even know who's driving this carriage. We don't see anybody.
I think that's the magic. Yeah, I think it's magically driven.
Right. And
So,
oh boy, Thomas is like, I guess I'm getting in here.
oh yeah, no, after the whole situation at the end, he's just fully ignoring everything.
All the
Like,
red flags.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like, fuck it. I guess I'm tweaking, bro. They must have had some juice in that end. You know what I'm saying? They must
Yeah.
have put something in the soup. Uh, so he pulls up to the castle, and my first thought was like, because I'm an idiot, I was like, is this castle like fully operated by one guy? Like, does he not have servants? I was expecting. This makes sense though for this point in time because everyone in
Mhm.
in Nosferatu's area is already like fearful of him. So I guess he wouldn't have a very upkept castle with servants and like people who don't know. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
why he's
yeah.
that's part of why he's moving. Isn't just to lust after Shorty's wife, but it's also because like in my opinion, it's because like he needs a fresh start of a place to take over. So it's dusty, it's gross, it's decrepit, and then he pulls up, and then here's Bill Skarsgård, the legendary monster player himself.
Oh man, like he is really becoming an icon right now. Like these performances he pulling up with, and this is his actual voice. I can't copy this, but it is just. I can only say one thing, and I'm gonna wait to say it in the voice. But yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do it? Okay, perfect. So he pulls up, and he's staring across the hallway, and he's got this big ass furry hat on. Please do the impression. Wait, when are you gonna do the impression? Do you remember what the
I
scene
gotta
is?
say it. I'm sorry, but the memes from this movie have been perfect. It's just like thou must bounce on it, crazy style. Have you seen that? That's basically the entire premise of what he's saying to Evelyn. Thou must bounce on it, crazy style.
Man,
Oh
I
my
thought
God,
you were
right.
gonna actually quote the movie. I
No.
Jesus Christ.
No. That's the only thing I can
Yes.
say.
So yes, Bill Skarsgård has lowered his voice an octave, and he talks as if he's got 6 different types of lung problems and asthma at the same time.
Mhm.
So he's, but I do like how demanding and assertive he is. Any like
Oh,
slight
dude, yeah.
violation of manners, he immediately yells at Thomas for. He's like,
Mhm.
sit down. You will refer to me as Lord, given
Lord,
my
yeah.
title. And he pulls out the contract, and honestly, he just starts finessing like a scammer. Like this is Young Punch Dev level like lyrics right here. He basically just gaslights him into being like, "Hey, go ahead and sign this for me."
Mhm.
And he's
Well, of
like,
course, Thomas thinks he's just signing the estate
"Yeah, the
like
deed."
deal. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's the
apparently
finesse.
not.
Yeah, so he puts the contract down, and he's like, go ahead and eat, and he's looking at the food. He's like, nah, fam. He's like, go ahead and eat. And then so bro starts eating, and then he starts tweaking too. He's noticing Count Orlok teleporting and doing all this weird shit. So he's very unsettled.
Right.
He's like shaking,
Yeah.
and he can barely get the words out. And I think there's like kind of a moment where he's like gonna gaze at the deed, but like Count Orlok keeps distracting him. And he asks for his locket, and then he's on weird timing immediately. Bro picks up the locket, which was given to him by Ellen, and he just puts his whole nose
No,
into it,
right,
and he's
yeah.
like, hell yeah, that's about right. Puts that shit in his pocket. It's basically
Mhm.
it's a stranger at a bar stealing your vape pen. He's like,
Oh, that's so funny. He's like, "Can I use this real quick?" And
yeah, and then he just puts it in his pocket.
pocket.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. So yeah, he gets Broski cuts his finger with a butter knife as he's trying to eat some bread, and Count Orlok starts bugging because he's a vampire.
Mhm.
He gets the dude to sign it, and after he signs it, he's like, hell yeah, rolls that bitch up. Turns out contract was for him to give up his wife. Nosferatu just finessed you, audio girl, in writing.
I can't, because later on, Evelyn blames him because like you walked in there and signed it willingly.
Yeah.
He signs it after he gets his blood sucked like for the first time. He's delirious. He's walking around this castle. He's like, I want to leave. I'm just gonna sign this and I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. The other thing
Don't-
though, I think part of the temptation is like before he read it or started paying attention, bro pulls out a box of gold. He's like, "How does this sound?" It just
Oh yeah.
throws him
I
a
guess
stack.
that's much worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. Thomas was in the right. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Up until the point where he sees someone stake a vampire and a virgin on a horse, like obviously he should have turned around right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest. If somebody was like, $250,000 a year. I'd be like,
Oh, I did
damn.
all this for that. Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, don't leave. I got bad vibes. Vibes ain't gonna stop me from getting the bag.
Yeah, nah.
Keep it a stack. Yeah, bruh. So he signs it. He got his shit sucked. He trying to skedaddle out. He getting chased by wolves. Count Orlok on the scene, and then this is where we got to see his powers. Because remember the people in the inn say beware his shadow. And when he locks Nosferatu out the thing, you see his shadow appear behind him. And that's when he starts getting mind controlled again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so that was
the shadow has been really cool in this in this
Yes.
movie as well.
Yes. Nosferatu in this movie is more like a demon than like a classic vampire, which I appreciate. Like even his look, like when Thomas goes to find him sleeping in the coffin, and he emerges, and we get to see Nosferatu peen. Yes, you get to see a vampire's penis in 4K.
Yes. In the light, they did not leave it in the shadow.
No, they wanted you to know what Nosferatu was walking around with. So this movie's crazy. His skin is gray. It's getting eaten by maggots. His hair is falling out. He's
lacerations like all over his body.
Yes, bones are creaking. So after that, Thomas finally gets to skedaddle out, and he begins his venture back.
He jumps out of like the tower after being chased by the dogs and just lands in a river and just floats down the river.
Oh yeah, he has a Bucky Barnes Captain America 1 moment where he gets knocked off the train. Yeah, and then so he gets rescued by the Catholic Church. I guess.
Yeah, by like the Romani like Catholic people, and they're like, "Yeah, we got you. You can't move," and he's like, "I gotta go home to Evelyn."
He's like, "I gotta leave," and they start blessing up. I'm not gonna lie, they start exercising the manipulation curse. So what it seems like is basically is Count Orlok when he gets a grip on people to mind control them. You can just pray it out. So they start hitting the exorcism on him, but it's not complete. They're like, we're not done with you yet. So he basically gets a 75% exorcism / faith cure. So he sets out anyway. Pretty much ignores like the episode 5 Empire Strikes Back Luke moment, and he's like, I gotta go save my wife because fucking Nosferatu's lusting after my girl. Which crazy revelation, by the way. Like, what do you even do after that? So he goes back. And then we get to meet the friends because, Shorty starts tweaking. She's bugging. She's having nightmares. She's convulsing. She goes to stay with Craven the Hunter. And his girl.
And her, like 2 children, right?
Yes. I love the contrast between Ellen and Anna. Anna's Craven's wife. Because Anna is very, I'm sticking to the social norms. I'm like she's honestly like overly feminine, if that makes sense, like in a way that's like conforming to like 1830s. She's got like blonde curly hair. The daughters are like, Papa, Mama, please.
Well, also like they're these are like longtime friends. I'm pretty sure they know this couple because of like Evelyn and her connection. I forget her name. You're losing me right now. But
which character?
His Craven's wife.
Oh, Anna.
Anna. Okay. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, her name. Yeah, Anna.
They're longtime friends, and she's comforting her. And I guess like they were friends back when she was going through these fits before, and she's like, okay, I'll stick by you then. And I thought she's a pretty good friend to her, unlike her husband, which is like,
yes,
I'm getting tired of this.
Yes, yeah, he's pretty much like he's like classic women and their antics. I did kind of like the scene between I'm gonna stop calling him Craven. I should probably call him by his real name, but I don't know what it is.
What is his real name?
Frederick.
Frederick. Yeah, Frederick Harding.
Frederick and
the doctor. They're like,
Thomas.
Yeah, we gotta find somebody to help her.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Dr. Wilhelm. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a pretty good character.
Yeah, so Dr. Wilhelm pulls up, and he's like classic 1830s doctor, where he's like, I love this, by the way, because they did this on purpose, at least in my opinion, they did this on purpose, the comedy between like the medicine of the 1830s and his seriousness about it, because they're like, doctor, what do we do? He's like, oh, classic, we have to drain her blood.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is nothing else they knew back then, man. There wasn't even penicillin back
I don't think
then.
so. Yeah, no. His remedy is she got too much blood, so it's making her
Yeah,
brain
bloodletting.
tweak. Yeah, so we gotta. And then he's like, she
Oh,
got.
actually, okay. When Count Orlok is like sucking on Thomas's blood, is he sending the blood to her and she's like overflowing?
I don't think so. I think.
Because she's like bleeding from her eyes.
Oh, you know what? Maybe that's the. I guess that.
That was just a
Huh.
random guess I had in the theater. I was just throwing it out there,
No,
but
I don't know. There's a lot of symbolism going on. There's a lot of like background information I don't have. It could be some form of like offering, I guess.
Mhm.
I also do like that Count Orlok sucks blood from where your heart is and not your neck. I think that was like a cool like
Yeah,
old school
yeah.
detail. Um, and it's interesting that he doesn't drink all of it. He like kind of saves people for like it's like snack time. Um, so yeah, so the doctor is like bloodletting, and also she has to sleep more. So he basically chloroforms her in the mouth every time she wakes up, so she
Mhm.
has to go back to sleep.
Oh, and then they chain her to the bed.
Oh yeah, they're like yeah, bruh, these fits are getting out of control. We gotta just lock her up.
And then we get our exposition character that comes in. Dr. Wilhelm is like, I know somebody,
Wait, hold
but
on.
he
We're skipping. We're skipping. We gotta, we
Oh,
gotta,
okay,
we gotta
okay,
cut
okay.
back. We gotta cut back. So we gotta get back to the real estate developer, who we find out has basically been drawing pentagrams on his floor at his crib, and
He's going crazy.
has used like basically he did like a trade, like you know what I'm like classic demon trade for money and wealth and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so he pledges his allegiance to Count Orlok. So he's our uh fuck, what is his name?
It's
It's
a henchman type character, at least.
ironically, what's it called? Nicholas Holt plays Renfield. He's the Renfield character.
That's so funny. I didn't even put that together. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a zombie basically, and he starts bugging bro. Bro is naked and like just going on a rampage, and so he gets locked up at the mental institution. He starts yapping about the coming of this like you know this force that's gonna kill everyone and do all this stuff, and he's eating fucking bird heads and going on monologues. So we
That
find
scene was
out.
so like unnerving, man. Like he's holding on to the bird, and that's like the last thing you want him to do. And of course, he still
Oh
does
yeah,
it,
no.
man.
The second that bird was on screen for more than 2 seconds, I was like, "We're on Ozzy Osbourne timing." He's biting that motherfucker's head off,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was so visceral too. I don't know if that was practical or CGI, but like I don't know, man. That felt like a bird getting its head chopped off. It was gross. Yeah, so we basically find out that the real estate dude, like, he's behind it. Like, that was all part of the plan for him to specifically send Thomas, the husband of Ellen, to go figure out what the moves are. And we're getting context now a little bit to what's going on with the story. Like, why is Ellen and Nosferatu lusting after each other? Which we don't find out, I don't think, until the end of Act 2, Act 3. But yes, like you said before, Dr. Wilhelm's was like, I know a guy. He's been kicked out of the scientific community for his obsession with the occult. And of
Well,
course,
alchemy too, right?
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, what does he do? Alchemy. And they're like, ah!
But
And they
Craven's character is so desperate that he's just like, yeah, anything will do.
yeah, he's like, as long as we can get this bitch out of my house, am I right, guys? Like, that's crazy.
And they go to his house, and he's just like this hermit. And he doesn't even he doesn't recognize his own apprentice.
Oh, bro, you gotta describe his apartment, bro. They get in there.
Oh, it's so hard. It's like at least four cats in there. He's like in a ground apartment of a 3-story building. Like he's in the bottom. You have to walk downstairs to get in there.
It's like
There's shit everywhere. He's got candles everywhere, and he's just sitting in a corner.
and then you could, bro, the second I heard his voice through the door, I knew we were in for it because I didn't know he was in this movie. So we get
Are you serious? Really?
No, I didn't. So we get introduced to William Dafoe, playing this occultist alchemist / Dr. Loomis character for the Nosferatu series. And it's just it's just beautiful. The second he starts talking, he's like, "Hello, my dear boy. I didn't recognize you." And then he's like, "What ails you?" And then he's like, this girl in my apartment is convulsing and she's saying all this stuff, and they're like, and he's like, "Oh, I think I must see this at once." And he pulls up, and it's classic. He's like, "All this shit you're doing is wrong. Unchloroform, yes, unchain her, unchloroform her at once. We must hear the visions. We got to basically coach her through the nightmares to figure out what she's seeing, because I believe she's in commune with a demon." Of
Yeah,
course, he's onto it. And he seems pretty rational, honestly. Like at first, it seemed like that misjudged character that most people deem crazy, but is actually right. But it's like
Hmm.
we end up seeing that it's kind of like a flipped coin later. So William Defoe's performance is just out of this world, and then he basically resuggests what we have to do. So now we're getting our Avengers team up. We've got Doctor Loomis, the other doctor, Nicola Thomas is back, and he's like Nosferatu's coming. We're all cooked. You were right, Shorty. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for not believing in you.
And we get one of my favorite scenes, man, the plague ship, man, because I don't know how Count Orlok set this up, but he's on this ship and it's heading towards Germany.
So another fun movie fact. So in the original movie, there is actually a scene of how he gets on the road to transport himself to the last voyage of Demeter. So he in the
Wait, are you telling me? Okay, actually, go ahead first, and I'll go.
So in the movie, it's actually hilarious. He basically, you see the carriage load itself with the force, and then he gets into a coffin and he like force lifts the coffin up and then puts himself on the
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's all like mystical, like magic bullshit.
Yeah, I guess in nowadays they wouldn't have to show that. We could just assume that something
No, they
mystical
skipped it.
happened.
But like it is a little weird though, because like every other scene, like a lot of other scenes are kind of like beat for beat recapturing. So it's interesting that he left that one out. So yeah, he ends up on the ship, and yes, the last voyage of the Demeter. That entire 2-hour movie is literally just this scene from this movie.
I just put that together. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He just hits the whole voyage.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The entire voyage is an entirely
They
separate
just
movie.
made a movie off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, that was a choice.
Yeah, so he gets on the ship, and the ship starts to get infected with the plague, and motherfuckers are disappearing and getting their blood drained, and so they're like, what the fuck, this is crazy. Everybody obviously gets two-pieced, because Dracula needs, he doesn't want to get scurvy on the road to Germany or Europe.
Yeah, he needs his vitality to claim back his wife.
Absolutely. And now this like the ship and the rats is perfect. So the ship basically crash lands on the dock, and then you just see these rats explode out, which is disgusting because you already know
Like
18
infinite rats.
Oh god,
There's so many. How do you bring this many rats? Like I don't even know.
The infestation alone is like horrifying to me.
Mhm.
But I love this idea that Nosferatu brings the plague. It's not just like he is death embodied, like he is like sickness, just invasion. Like everything bad about him is just
Everything bad.
evil manifest. So by this point, Ellen's like, I must confess to you, my husband, Thomas, what happened and what transpired and why this is happening. Because by this whole time, I'm just kind of confused. I don't know what's going on. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to describe this from the way I perceived it. And I think, is this? Oh, no, we'll get there in a second. Basically, when Ellen was younger, she's got this like innate ability to commune with like the occult in the spirit realm. So when she was younger, she got so horny that she basically just put out a request to the spirit world for someone to come have intercourse with her, which ended up in her summoning Count Orlok. And then she bangs Nosferatu. Okay, which basically sets in motion this like obsession with her. So when he gets reactivated a bunch of years later, because she gets married, he gets reactivated and is like, "Where the hoes at?" And so now he's coming back for his shorty. And so his whole mission is for Nosferatu to go sleep with his side piece once again.
You know what? I think so. I'm not sure if it was out of horniness or like some type of like. She might have been depressed back then and just was calling for something, and she didn't know how the spirit or whatever she was calling for was gonna return, and she got what she got.
Oh, that's a very interesting perspective. Maybe she wasn't out there looking for the Nosferatu schlong. She was just out there looking for something to make her happy. That's one way. I like my description much better. This
Okay. But I was gonna say that I think Count Orlok, like maybe he like, forgot about it, or I know he didn't know that she became married, and that's what really helped her overcome him, or like at least his visions. And I think once Count Orlok finally figured out that she was married, he was like, "Yeah, I'm going all out. I'm reclaiming her. Making his boss send him to me to sign her away."
Bro,
Basically,
Nosferatu was toxic. He said,
yeah. Oh,
like,
he's so toxic, man.
bro,
This is
it's so
future
toxic,
incarnate.
bro. He tossed Shorty to the side, and then found out she was talking to other dudes. He said, "I can't have that."
Oh
Said, "I can't have that.
man,
It's me or nobody.
this
It's
is
me
a
or
hood
nobody."
ballad.
This,
This is like a hood. Uh,
this is a
a hood
retelling.
telling, man. Yeah.
Right. This is just an 1830s version of something we would see. You know what I'm saying? Like we all got friends like this who was like, nah, bro, like I don't, she all
She
right,
can't
bro.
be with no one else
Nah,
but me,
nah,
man. For
nah,
real,
nah,
I'm be
nah,
honest.
nah, nah, bro. I don't like her like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be ghosting her and type shit, and they'd be
Oh,
like, all
oh,
right, bro, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, bro, why are you DMing her right now? Nah, bro, I
yeah.
saw her Instagram story. She with this other dude. He
Oh,
ain't shit, bro. He a bitch. What? I thought you said
it's
you don't
so
care about her. Nah, bro, you don't understand. What am I missing?
it's so bad. It's such a flawed human. It really shows how flawed the Count
And
Orlok
he's a
is.
demon. Like, why he got
Yeah,
it? Like, you don't need to have all this. He ain't got
no,
nothing
you
else to do.
don't.
That's so yeah. So that I like. Yeah, man, you had a really progressive perspective on her depression being like the reason she gets summoned. But oh no, I have a defense for my theory of her lustfulness
Yeah.
because there's a scene where she basically describes her sinful carnal desires, because that's what William
Mhm.
Dafoe says. He's like, demons tend to flock to people with aggressive. I forgot the word he uses, but it's like basically animalistic instincts, like I guess like I don't know, desire for intercourse, etc.
Primal like nature.
Yeah,
Or something
primal
like
nature
that.
stuff is what they flock to. So, bro, Count Orlok being a demon slash a vampire is so cool. Like, I like the fact that he's not just like when Dracula kind of looks too drippy. I love that like version of like the Castlevania Dracula. I love that too, but I like this one a
Oh yeah,
lot.
of course. Okay, yeah, it's definitely a different kind of vampire. I like how Willem Dafoe calls him like the Nosferatu, and like that he's like a specific kind of vampire who like needs to be buried in cursed earth, and he will bring a plague if he leaves his
Oh yes,
castle. Or
the
something like
Nosferatu.
that.
All of
Yeah.
William Defoe's lines are like camera zoomed in directly to his face, so you can listen to his entire like one take
Mhm.
monologue. It's beautiful, and I'm a huge fan of that because he's basically the exposition of like the second half of this movie, which is honestly to me amazing for the pacing because this movie's like 3 hours long. The first half is basically like entrenched in mystery. And then the second half is William Dafoe carrying you along, so this movie can be sped up, but also to give you enough time to like fully develop these characters and their
Mhm.
transitions. So by this point, everyone's in full panic mode. They're getting ready to defend against the Nosferatu.
Oh,
Uh,
does she come? Does he come visit her now, and then like bad thing starts happening?
I don't remember at what point he comes
He's
to
like, you
visit her.
have 3 days. I will come back. And he's like, I will kill everybody if you don't respond to me or something like
Oh,
that.
it's the
in 3
it's the
days.
yeah. He gives the 3 days. What do they call that? Why am I blanking on the word here? Ultimatum.
Ultimatum.
Yeah, there we go. The 3 day ultimatum. He's like, listen, Shorty, I'm not gonna lie, you taking too long. Like, I ain't got time for all that. You got 3 days for us to get to it, or I'm clearing house. I'm airing this bitch out. And then she's like, that's insane. So they start developing a plan. The plague by this point has come in full force. The real estate broker dude has basically like bit the throat out of the guard and escaped on himself. And he goes to assist Count Orlok in the new castle. Gets all that shit going for him.
He gets from the shipping, like rows like a Venice style like boat down
Yes.
the canal to the crib.
Which looked beautiful. However, I was like, does he have super strength? Like, does this dude just like possess the strength to pick up that whole coffin? That's a nitpick, I guess. It wasn't super
Well,
important.
I guess he also could have been like, "Ooh, I'm about to psychedelically, telepathically move
Oh,
my
that's
car."
fair. But I don't know, bro. That coffin's like at least like 900
And it's
pounds.
carrying around dirt.
Yes.
Dirt is heavy as hell.
Yes, and it's in like that like tiny wooden boat. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So now we're skipping all over the place. Basically, we get to the third act in the movie where like the plan gets set in motion. They're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Ellen hide because she's the objective. This is capture the flag. So we're gonna have her go hide, and the boys are gonna go terminate Count Orlok at the crib because they think if they stake this dude, set him on fire, and I forgot. There's one other thing.
This happens after he comes and visits the family who's been keeping her in, because they cast Evelyn and Thomas out once Evelyn gets home. So he comes in and he tells Craven, I gotta stop calling him Wilhelm to stay asleep,
Yes.
and he comes in, just sucks the blood of the two kids. We
Oh.
get some I don't know what it's called when you kill a kid, but that it's in the movie.
Yeah. Yes. So correct. Which is honestly like in my opinion, the most slasher style horror of this movie. It kind of
Mhm.
switches from a thriller to like a straight up like Michael Myers style murder. So by the way, Craven is sleeping with that thing on him. He got that flintlock pistol in his hand while he sleep,
Yeah,
and then
I didn't
so.
notice that. Good
Oh yeah,
eye.
he's just sitting there with it in his hands, and so he's got the gun, and the wife tries to wake him
Mhm.
up because um he hears
She hears
like
something going on. There's something like a kerfluffle. There's like
the
plus
kids are
like
screaming. Yeah, her
kids are
children are
screaming.
screaming.
That's
So she
right.
tries to get up her husband so he can go handle business. He's not waking up. She goes to discover it herself. And to her absolute horror, Count Orlok has two-tapped both of her kids in this horrific scene where there's like a flash of a lightning or moonlight that illuminates him as he's got one dead kid in the hair and the other dead kid like underneath him.
Mhm.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
he skedaddles. I think is that day one murder?
He killed that is day one, I think. It might be day one or day two, but then he kills the wife, and then we I think just teleport straight into the funeral. And Wilhelm, man, he is going through it. He is just like
Oh no,
I've
yeah,
lost everything.
yes. Frederick.
Frederick. Oh man.
Or Friedrich, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, so
Friedrich, yeah.
but which is fair, bro. Like his kids are cooked, like you know what I'm saying. And then
Kids
like
and the wife, yeah.
yeah, and the wife gets peeled back too after the kids, so he's alone, and obviously he's going through it, so he starts blaming Evelyn. He's like, you invited this evil into our town, and he's like, what the fuck, like like you gotta go, bro, like this is crazy, and so he's basically brooding by himself, and they come up with this plan which I mentioned before, and bro is like, all right, that's fine. And the second they go to set out to do it's the day of the plan. It's time to do it. We're going in the morning because the morning is
Mhm.
when he can't. He's going to be the most vulnerable. And Friedrich is AFK, and they go looking for him, and they go to the graveyard, and Friedrich is sleeping with his dead wife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
And
wife.
apparently he dies because he gets the plague from her, and
Yeah.
he just dies like I don't know how fast he dies or how long he was he was
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all heard me correct. He grabs his dead wife's corpse and starts sleeping with it.
He loves his wife, we'll say that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's all. Yeah, it's
yeah. He getting intimate with the dead. We got necrophilia in Nosferatu,
that's the
bro.
necrophilia in there, right?
So yeah, he dies from the clap in like 20 minutes.
Clap.
Yeah, and by this point it's like 6:30 p.m. So the sun's about to set. And they're like, damn, we are not doing good. We're one man down. It's nighttime and we got to go kill bro. And so everyone's kind of not excited about this ranked game. They're like, it's not looking too good for us. We're not going to win the championship, but we got to stay motivated because it's our last chance. And so Ellen's like, Green Goblin, can you walk me to my door, please? And they have a little side conversation where she's like, I'm going to keep it a stack with you. I feel like I got to bang Nosferatu or everyone's going to die. And Dr. Loomis is like, yeah, you're right. I'll be honest. He's like, evil. No, he's like, yeah, I think so too. The real strategy is I'm going to take the boys to the castle on this like red herring mission to destroy the vampire. But in reality, you gonna low-key have to ban Count Orlok. And
the only way, apparently, right?
Yeah, because by this point, it's not just the lives of like 4 people. It's like the entire world is like Europe itself is kind of at stake. So William Dafoe leads the charge to the castle. They're all locked in. Man, they came with torches, etc. They get there.
Open up the coffin, and it's just Renfield, or the character who's playing him. And they stab him in the heart, kill him.
So they kill him.
Like, oh.
They're like, where the fuck is he? And then William Dafoe does this beautiful monologue with like this wide shot of him, just like he's going crazy by this point. This is the reveal. You're like, oh, I see why he was ostracized by the scientific community. This dude is a psycho. He starts tweaking about like Nosferatu and he's maniacally laughing. And they're like, oh, like you bastard. You distracted us. I got to go back and save my girl, bro. Like I got to go save Helen. So he gets to step in. And William Dafoe just starts lighting shit on fire because he's burning the house down. So that way, just in case at least.
Killing all like the plague rats too, because like they're surrounded by these rats when they're walking up to the coffin.
Yes, surrounded. So this is basically the heroes lose kind of situation.
Oh, for
So
sure.
Thomas gets to full sprint back home, and we're we're treated with the
Yeah,
most.
Thomas and the doctor who actually survives.
Yeah,
Like, I was thinking about
I
that
was just
too.
about to say that. I was like, wait, I think the doctor survives in this movie.
Yeah, he's there.
So he gets to step in, and he pulls up back to his crib, and the most horrific sight anyone could ever see. As a, it's just,
gross,
bro.
man.
He pulls up, bro, and his shorty is underneath Nosferatu, who has completed
Bare ass.
yeah, bare ass, who is he finished.
Oh, it's so gross to
Yeah,
see.
bro.
Yeah, the sun comes up by now.
Oh yeah, they were going at it for so long, and I'm not gonna lie, she must have been locked in because the sun was coming up, and Nosferatu noticed, and she was like, "Nah, bro, stay." Continue what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
you good.
and then by distracting him with her.
One of my fun facts about this scene
Yeah.
is that the cat is just there.
I
Just
haven't
chilling.
I haven't even noticed that.
Yeah, because when Nicholas Holt's character Thomas walks in, the cat's just like meow in the
Oh.
corner by the bed.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at you noticing the cat. Little
Yeah.
cameo appearance.
So
So Nosferatu gets killed by the sunlight. Classic vampires are allergic to the sun. And then there's a cinematic shot, which I guess if you're into like avant-garde art, you might be like, this is beautiful. I did not find it such. I found it as a masterclass in horror. She died of blood loss. He is on top of her. They're both naked. They're both dead. And then the doctor, which is actually quite nice of him, starts laying flowers by the bedside because she committed the ultimate sacrifice in order to save everyone. And that's pretty much that. But we're going to circle back real quick because, that was the end of the movie. You're pretty much at this point kind of sitting there confused. But there is a feeling of resolution, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like I was left wanting more. I feel like everyone's characters was wrapped up. It's just a tragedy. It's basically just a dramatic tragedy.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
The point in my movie watching experience where the entire theater erupted in straight laughter was like closer to the third act / end of the second act of the movie, where Thomas and Ellen are having this moment shortly after the confession of her summoning Count Orlok when she was a teenager, is when she's like she basically she's convulsing, she's salivating on the ground. This is like her Oscar-winning performance moment where she's putting 100% in, and you really think she's kind of possessed in this. Like, it's pretty cool, like for an actor to do that whole scene and just make it seem like she's actually dealing with demon stuff.
She's really talented, man. Like, after this, I'm like all in on her.
However, we cut through that immersive performance with like a hot knife through butter when she goes, "Now bang me immediately so Count Orlok can watch." So she.
Oh yes, this is also some toxicness, I would say, as well.
Yeah, it's because since he's watching at all times, there's this very aggressive sex scene between the two characters, and she's like, she basically goats him to do it so that way Count Orlok knows that she prefers her husband over him, and the whole theater at this point is laughing. The woman next to me just started chuckling, and I was laughing too. Yeah, the whole theater was like, "This is insane, man. We've crossed the threshold of suspending our disbelief."
Yeah, in our hood love story version of this is like the equivalent of just taking a Snapchat while
Snapchat story
in the scene,
okay,
and
that's
just sending
good.
it to the.
No, that's good. Wait, what movie is that? There's a comic book movie. Oh, Kick-Ass. In the Kick-Ass comic book, that's what happens.
With Aaron Taylor Johnson, yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot he's in that too. Yeah, I guess in the comic book adaptation of that movie, when he first admits to that's a completely different movie that we're talking about right now. When he first admits to the love interest that he's actually not homosexual and that he prefers the company of women, instead of her just forgiving him and they start dating, she basically like I guess sends him pictures of her like intimate with another man. So
I forgot about that.
It's not in the movie. They that's just a comic book.
Okay.
Scene. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, man. So this is just a story of toxic masculinity, drama, and it's like Keeping Up with the Kardashians in 1830.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's a good example.
So honestly, overall, pretty fantastic experience on Christmas. Like it's like the winter vibes are vibing. Like the suspense is pretty.
Wait, I started my new year with this, so.
Oh God, you start okay. So what do you think about the movie as a whole? Is there Is there any like specific thing that like or scene that you want to go back to and discuss? Because I feel like we covered like the whole movie, despite it being like 3.5 hours.
I think so too. I think I would definitely. This has some rewatchability to me. Obviously it's like a 2.5 hour movie. I think so. At least one more time.
You think so?
But
I can do it
yeah,
again.
I just want to take in all those scenes of just Thomas like going to the castle and just being alone. The carriage scene, his solo scenes with the Count Orlok, and also probably like Ellen's solo scenes with Count Orlok, some of the best in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you wouldn't want to like? It's like, oh, I get back to the scene. I'm like, not too excited.
So the beginning of the movie and the third act of the movie, I think, are my favorite. The middle section of the movie, where there's like a lot of exposition and a lot of like reveals, is important for the first time. But once you know the story, you know the mystery, that middle section could be kind of like not boring, but it's certainly it's less visually intriguing. The cinematography is beautiful, and pretty much anything William Dafoe says, I'm like completely enamored with. But yeah, that middle section of like the exposition dump, the sex scene, and all that stuff. It's just like some of it, the horror element of it sometimes gets interrupted by the very crazy plot of Nosferatu trying to fuck this guy's wife, which is just like bonkers. They must have been doing opium when they first wrote this book, like however long ago. But yeah, it's just insane. But outside
back then it wasn't like obviously having sex outside of marriage. That was like the worst. Some of the worst thing you can.
Yeah,
do,
it's
right?
like adultery, a lot of things, but it's just like even now with the crazy movies that we've come out with, like the idea of like creating a monster and then like having the whole plot be to lust after this woman who summoned you through her lustiness is crazy. Like that's some horny shit. That's like fan fiction. So on the negative end of it, let's get into some criticisms and nitpicks. Even though we absolutely love this movie.
Ooh, it's gonna be kind of hard for me. You want to go first?
Yeah. Just like the way some of the dialogue and shots are. I think sometimes the grandiose theatrical nature of it might unimmerse like the average watcher, including myself. But that's just like a criticism of me being an idiot. And not like the movie's fault. Other than I would have maybe enjoyed a couple of other instances of horror, I guess, if that makes sense. Just maybe a couple more scenes of Nosferatu peeling some people back.
You know what? I would say that too, because I was trying to think, and then when you said that, I was like, yeah, maybe I want to see some more. Would you want to say some brutality, I guess, from him? Besides, like, I guess he sucks the blood, but
I think so.
Really...
Because there's no one. Okay, like I know this is a different version of a vampire. I'm not trying to see like an MCU fight scene, but like I don't know whether or not Nosferatu's physicality is imposing. Like I don't know if this is like a dude who operates in the realm of magic and deception. Primarily in this movie he does, but I wonder if like he was caught lacking at the castle. Does he handle like all four guys easily, or does he actually like, because he's decrepit and he looks like kind of weak. So I wonder if that's why he has to resort to all these deceptive tactics. I am curious to see, like, is he bulletproof? Like I just dumb shit like that.
No, I think that's fair. I think it's a fair statement. We don't really see him get too physical with people unless it's like him. Just I don't even know. Just having sex.
No, because like that's another thing though, is like just for like the sake of like looking too much into the plot. It's like if that whole village just marched on Count Orlok's castle, would they win, or are they at a disadvantage there? You know what I mean? Because if this whole town is afraid of this creature, which is totally valid, is it because they like even as a mob they lose, or is it because they're just too afraid to try?
I think it's more. That's a really good question, because in this movie he's more of like this mage / like warlock where he just casting spells on people.
Oh yeah,
but like you said, they do like have protection. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing to bring up if they can actually rise against them. But I think there's definitely fear. There's fear there, and he sets it in pretty good for.
See, I'm scared too, though. I mean, he's like Freddy Krueger manifest almost, like into the real world, which is like why he's so scary. I guess this is a good. Oh, do you have any other criticisms? Because I was like, this is a good segue from most chilling scenes. But what do you?
You can keep going. But you can move on.
Oh yeah, so like for his like imposingness, like most chilling scene for me is definitely like when he murders the kids and wife. Because first of all, just like just as someone with a family like everyone else, like the idea of like waking up to the massacre was crazy. But also like you hear like a bump in the night, you go to investigate, and this fucking creature has murdered your children. Is like that's fucking horrifying. Like it's not even human. It's like straight murdered them. And then it's after you. It's like, man, that's so like, and just the way the scene is backlit, so his shadow is kind of casting on you, and he's like 7 foot tall too.
Right, yeah.
Like this dude isn't just like the same height as you. So yeah, that's definitely just the most horrifying aspect of the film to me. Is just that moment where he basically commits a home invasion.
That's definitely up there for me. I would probably say that as well. But to pick something different, uh, hmm, obviously, I would say the most unsettling scene was probably that. Oh my God, Renfield eating that bird.
Oh,
What we
fuck.
talked about before.
Yeah, that's
That
bad.
was just something like obviously we knew it was coming, and we were like, I don't want it to happen, please, but it did.
Yeah, that was bad.
Another, if I would say the one with Count Orlok, I'd probably say his scenes were just Thomas and his castle solo, man. Like it just felt like just like a one person conversation, and he is just completely overwhelming Thomas, and there's nothing he can do.
You know what? That's fair. After completing the movie, the idea of being on his home turf, knowing how fucking devastating this guy is even scarier. Like being solo dolo in his castle. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked. Especially because like you didn't know magic was real, and now this dude is teleporting.
Oh no, yeah, Thomas is just looking around at the dinner table, and he's just kind of he's by the table, then he's by the fire, and he's by Thomas. It's like, what is going on?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
We'll go pick your death scene now. So we'll pick the scene in which we decide like what death scene in the movie where you're like, I'll take that. Like, there's one way to go out. How are you going out in this movie?
Oh, okay. How do you think it feels to get your blood sucked?
It's gotta feel horrible, and also the scent. Like outside of the pain itself. Like okay, so I hate needles. So when I get my blood drawn, I almost pass out. So having that happen, but not through a clinical sense, like having my blood literally sucked out of me, I'd probably pass out just from the sensation alone, outside of like the pain or whatever else. That would just feel horrible.
Yeah. So would you choose that, or
I don't want to, bro. I'm not dying by the plague either. That's fucked.
Okay, I was about to
It's
say
not
that.
happening. It's not happening, bro.
Not happening, okay.
Yeah, no one catches a break in this movie when they get killed. Not a single person.
Even like the kids get like the massacre.
Yes.
I'm trying.
No, this one's really hard. This is actually a difficult decision to make.
Definitely not Evelyn.
No, that's significantly worse. That's the worst way to go. Fuck.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay.
You can get your throat bit out by the real estate dude.
Yeah, right.
You can get Count Orlok to any of like the 4 ways he killed someone. You can die by the plague. Those are pretty much our only options here.
Oh man, I guess I'm committing necrophilia on my wife and dying to the.
Okay, that's an
Yeah,
insane pick. That's the craziest
Yeah.
option. That's fucking crazy.
That's the only way, man.
Okay, bro. Yeah, that one's getting clipped.
I'll say you ain't gonna say it. I'll say it.
No, he said, I know what you was thinking. No, man. No. Man, I think I'll have to get Nosferatu sucked, like standard Nosferatu sucked. Like,
or you can die as Nosferatu from the sunlight.
nah. Oh shit. Yeah. Fuck. Just getting burned to death, internal burning to death.
Yeah.
I wonder if you pass out from the blood loss really quickly though.
See, that's what I was thinking too, because also when Thomas gets his blood sucked, he doesn't even remember like
Exactly.
it happened.
Yeah,
So-
maybe I'll go out like the wife. Just no, because then you got to see your kids get killed first.
Oh yeah, that's like probably the worst.
Yeah, I think I'll burn to death.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess the other option is getting staked because
Renfield gets staked. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Fuck. No, I'm still burnt. I guess no. I burnt. That's fucked. This is so bad, bro.
I'll stand by mine. I'll let you decide.
Getting burned to death by the sun is fucked, but I think he died fairly quickly. So I'll go sunburning. That was so bad, man. You know, I actually just got like a weird, like anxious feeling in my stomach. Like I actually had to choose. All right, we'll go. Oh God. Graves mistake next. So name of the podcast. We take the character's worst decision in this movie, and that leads to basically the ultimate downfall of their character or other people. So for the grave mistake, mistake. I see. Sorry, it's confusing for me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the decision to continue with the real estate deal after seeing the fucking carriage magically pull up and then open the door. The second that carriage with no driver does a 90-degree turn, I'm not getting in it.
Yeah, you hitting that 180 going on the other.
Yeah, and then even before that, when I arrive at the inn and the townspeople are like, we don't even say that guy's name. I'm like, oh, Voldemort, cool, okay, see y'all.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Anytime someone's like, yeah, we don't say that name right here, you should know something's up.
Yeah, absolutely not. I can go get a different job. I can be a banker.
Okay, for mine, I would probably say maybe Evelyn, where he comes to her and says like, you got to make this decision, and I guess she sits on it and has to make the decision like later on, which is very human. So it also gets her friend and her kids killed, and other things just start happening around. So she made that decision a little earlier. Maybe they would have been okay.
Oh, you're a victim blamer. That's cool. I get it. Yeah, that's fine.
I say victim blamer,
Nah,
but like
it's cool. I
he
guess.
ends up doing the same thing. Like he gets what he wants in the end.
I know, but that's a crazy decision to make.
I gotta say it.
Okay, I know. I like this demon time for Nosferatu that you've decided to just fully lean into the most.
He gets what he wants, man. He really does just win in the end. Like this is all he wants.
See, I'm This is so. If you're in this position, what's your decision? Because I know what mine is. I'm horrendously selfish. If I'm Ellen
doing
or
it as
Thomas,
well.
oh yeah, no, different story. If I'm Ellen or Thomas, I'm not doing that. I'm putting the entire world at stake to go fight him at the castle.
Yeah.
If I'm Ellen, I'm pulling up too.
Oh, okay. I guess that would probably be. Oh no, but I think he would just kill Thomas in front of her.
No, we're all gonna lose.
Oh, okay.
But see, the thing is Ellen has to consent. That's part of like the vampire rules for some reason. Like they always have to get invited. So, like, if I'm Ellen, it's me and the homies pulling up to your castle for real and Swiss cheesing you. And if we die, we die. Like, okay, Europe's cooked. I'll be dead anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, because one thing about me, you're not gonna hold me hostage. Yeah, I'm not getting. I'm not getting extorted, bro. Yeah, this T body will not be extorted.
Oh man.
Let's see. I think we've run through most of the segments. We got a representation. Which one do you want to do first? Representation station.
Let's go do this right now.
Okay, representation station. So we basically discuss as the perspective of minorities how this film did in regards to representation. And then maybe what would be different if we added some black characters or other minorities in here. You want to go? You want to go first?
I mean, this is a period piece. It's set in Germany.
It's a period piece.
Yeah, there is no drop of melanin in this movie. Not everybody is pale. I would say this is just the movie. There's nothing else. I don't think any black person has been around Nosferatu in any movie ever. So they're just sticking true to it. So it's just how it is. There's not much you can really do about it.
So I just Googled what year slavery ended in Europe.
Yeah.
just for context. So it seems like the general time frame is around 1848 for a lot of the countries.
Okay. So this takes place in the 1830s. So
there might not have been slavery in Germany at this time. I have no idea. Like I'm not very good with European history whatsoever. But
so how would you have felt if Craven's character had slaves in the house working for him?
That would have been crazy because in 2025 there would have had to have been a statement about it. Like there would have been some kind of like, this is what would have happened. I can tell you already. So Craven's got slaves, right? And he's treating them like, property. And and Thomas as our protagonist would like kind of side eye that because he doesn't like slavery, because they have to let you know slavery.
Yeah, let somebody know. Yeah. You don't mess with it.
Yeah. So 100%. There is actually a black character in this movie. I don't know why IMDb decided to like specifically let us know the dockhand. So I suppose there's some random ship worker who's played by a black guy.
Oh, okay.
His name is Paul Maynard.
Mhm.
And apparently he's in a lot of movies. He's in The Crow, Extraction 2, the original Extraction. And he's in that John Carpenter's Suburban Screams true crime
Uh-huh.
thing. So very interesting there. But yeah, so adding more black characters to this movie, in my opinion, doesn't really it doesn't do the movie a service or a disservice because, like you said,
Yeah.
it's a period piece. It's set in Europe. It would just kind of feel forced. I'd kind of feel like we were tokenizing. If
Yeah,
we
if
decided
there's a
to.
black person in there, I want this to be a complete black redo. Thomas is the
Oh, full
main
black
character. He
cast.
is black. Yes.
So, fun fact: there actually is a full black cast version of this movie, and it's called Meet the Blacks 2 with Mike Epps.
Oh, I did not. Okay, so there's the first Meet the Blacks, a Purge
That's the
remake,
Purge.
and then the second one is a Nosferatu slash Dracula
Yeah, so
remake.
Cat Williams plays Dracula,
Oh man,
and
let me look at
and you
those.
know, and you know how Dracula is like he's a lord or some form of businessman. Cat Williams is a pimp as Dracula in Meet the Blacks
Of course he
too,
is.
and
Yes.
he's lusting after Mike Epps' wife, and he hypnotizes her to become one of his hoes, and that's the plot of the movie.
Okay, that's all you had to say.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wait,
we
is
know
she
what this looks
white
like.
as well? She has. Oh wait. Oh no, she's like Spanish. Okay, she's
Yeah.
Colombian. I'm about to say that'd be
Yeah.
so funny.
And it is the dialogue between Mike Epps and Cat Williams is so insane. So that's yeah, as an all black cast comedy, we already know what this looks like. Dracula's a pimp, and he's trying to convert Ellen to one of the hoes.
Awesome. I gotta look at this now. I didn't know there was a retelling of this.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, so I would give this movie for representation station a neutral 0 here. We don't really need any more characters to
Yeah, it is what it is.
to
Yeah.
be black, but we also don't necessarily it doesn't fail in the fact that it doesn't have a character like that. I will
Mhm.
say that the decision making in this movie would be totally different. The 12 red flags would not have been ignored by Thomas.
Mhm.
I wonder, like, I feel like Ellen's character would have been a lot more like definitive and don't leave the house. Like the vibes are bad. Because personally, if my partner told me something ain't right, I've been having dreams of this moment for like months and it's not gone correct, I would just stay home. Like get on
Yeah,
LinkedIn,
really.
ZipRecruiter.
Recently, or maybe this is through all horror movies, we get this like is usually the main like female character, and she's going through something, and the husband just does not believe her.
No.
I've been seeing this so much, like what Smile. There's some other examples, but Smile was a pretty good example. But man, it's just epidemic, and
Just not listening to women? Is that there's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
better
I mean,
version?
honestly, yes, yes.
Yes, we need to do
Movie's
better.
very about that. Not listening to women. Oh, she's just going through her period or something like
Oh
that.
my god. No, yeah, see, and that's like it's interesting because we tell this story in 1830 and there's like you said, you referenced like Smile 2, which came out in 2024. Like the hysterical woman trope is like the fact that it's lasted this long is unacceptable. Like that's just
Yeah.
I look at me pandering, but I'm just saying like that's like it's crazy, bro. Like, and this story was like the book with all these same themes. The original movie done like all that time ago is still talking about the same stuff we can discuss today in a film. So I mean, that's pretty. That's extraordinary in the worst way possible. There's not a lot of music in this movie, so there's not a whole lot to talk about there. But I guess we can go on to rating. How'd you feel about the movie as a whole? What would you do differently? Oh, we got to talk about sequel possibilities. So,
Oh yeah.
all right, sequel possibilities for Nosferatu. This is obviously a slasher reimagining in the sequel where Nosferatu gets resurrected by somebody else. Like I'm thinking maybe 100 years later, 500 years later. It's like the 1900s. The Industrial Revolution is probably it's already kicked off, I think, by the 1830s. So we'll go. Yeah, so okay, this is what I'm thinking. So Nosferatu is back, obviously, because he's a supernatural creature, and it's an all new cast of people. And I think instead of lusting after somebody's wife, he's just trying to like plant his stake in Europe. He kind of got a taste.
Okay. You want to see some some diplomacy?
Yeah, he's rocking with beans on toast. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's right. Okay.
Yeah, maybe he's like maybe he's door-to-door murderer in this one. Obviously, that would remove all of the beauty and the drama from Nosferatu, but I think I could get down with him just like terrorizing a town for 2 hours and then having like a mob style attack on his castle at the end of the movie.
It'd be kind of fun. I'm not sure if like I guess Nosferatu has always been like this one tale, and they don't really make too much. Like I'm not sure if there's a sequel at all. Maybe there is, but
I think it's
maybe we
all
should see
like
how it is. I don't know.
I think it's all non-canon sequels. It's just like, what if, like, there's all these adaptations like Salem's Lot,
Oh yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. So I think that's pretty much how you go. And any sequel possibilities from your end? What would you like to see in a Nosferatu 2, the
Uh,
Nosferatuing?
Maybe something like something set like set in Europe. We get some something mixed in with like one of the World Wars would be probably kind of cool to me.
Oh,
I'm
World
not
War
sure
II,
how he would do
Nosferatu.
it. Yeah, but him just like him just going around like the trenches, killing like
Oh,
sucking
you
on people's
you want to
lives.
see Count Orlok drafted into World War II?
Yeah, yeah, that'd be kind of funny, man.
Yeah.
They're like, who is this? What is going on? Why? How did he die?
Wait, no, this is actually amazing. So Count Orlok develops humanity. He gets to meet his brothers in arms on the front
uh,
lines, on the western. Actually, we'll do World War One. He's on the Western Front, and
mhm.
he's just fighting with his brothers, and he's like, you know what, humans aren't that bad. But by the end of it, he sees the catastrophe that is humanity and the destruction that follows. And so in World War II, he becomes a fascist dictator that takes over Germany, and it
Okay,
turns out that Nosferatu is actually just
actually
Hitler.
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, like what are we talking about right now? It's so terrible. No,
Okay,
yeah,
you already got the Hitler stash, man.
yeah. So that's Nosferatu sequel as he becomes the fascist dictator of Nazi Germany. That'd be
I like it.
yeah, and then we get Fury and what's that other really famous movie in World War II? Oh, Saving Private Ryan is just like
Saving Private
it's just an attack on Count Orlok. Um,
Ryan.
that's so bad. So yes,
Good,
I
good.
think we've wrapped up all the nonsense that we can for this very serious movie. So what would you give it
Mhm.
out of 10 on the scale?
I'm having a hard time. Like I just like the entire time we were going over like our topics, I was just thinking back in my head, man. I'm for some reason, this came out last year, so I'm kind of just comparing this to the other good movies of last year that I really liked.
Yeah,
So I'm comparing it to like Smile 2. I'm comparing it to like Alien Romulus, and I'm like,
there's some heavy
oh,
hitters
it's
there.
so hard to compare, man. It's a period piece, and it doesn't really. It's like it's hard to compare it to something that's so modern as those two, or well, one science fiction, and I
Yes.
think I have like a lean towards that kind of stuff. So if I gave, what did I give Alien Romulus? Maybe like an 8.5. It's got to be a little less than Alien
You
Romulus.
think so?
I'd probably say 8. Yeah.
I,
If I
I
gave Romulus an 8.5, I would say 8. I loved it though.
so it's been like 2 weeks to a month since I've seen this movie. And I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna have to give this movie a 10.
Oh, okay.
I like I don't like doing point fives. Like more realistically, I'd probably put this movie at a 9.5.
Uh
But
huh.
it's just the movie is shot beautifully. The performances, like every single actor in this movie, is putting in 100%
Hmm.
for their character. Not every character is super interesting, but everyone's just is putting it in. It's not original because it's old, but it's
Right.
unique.
Retelling, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique. Like just like even the horny nonsense, which is like sometimes messes up my immersion for the movie. It
Mhm.
is just like I haven't seen this before, if that makes sense. Like at least
Mhm.
like told in this way. The scary scenes are scary. Like I feel Nosferatu's presence even before he even arrives in Europe. Um, so yeah, like I just this movie is fantastic. Now
Ooh. I think it really
rewatchable,
comes
not so
down to
much,
like
but
yeah, rewatchability to me. For me, it's for I guess for a 10 to me, it's gotta have like a lot of rewatchability. That's what I'm saying. I think I can go back and watch like Smile. Well, I think I can go back and watch Smile 2 and Rhyme. That's like a little more than this. So I guess that's what brings it down to me. Maybe it can come up to a 9. I think I can agree on that. Is but oh man, I guess I gotta really evaluate my past ratings because this
oh
is a
no,
tough.
forget that. No, you just gotta get in there fully.
Okay, I'll stick with. I guess maybe because it's a period piece, and those have never been like my favorite absolute movies.
Oh, I
So
love
I would
those.
probably stick with 8.5. Yeah.
Okay, that's a solid score. Yeah, we did for there. We did for there. I will say that we've been saying this movie is like 3 hours. It's actually 2 hours and 12 minutes. It just feels really long, I guess.
It feels long, yes.
Um,
For sure.
So for comparison, Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie an 85%. IMDb gave it a 7.6 out of 10. So they're actually hovering perfectly around your score. I've apparently inflated its value, but I don't care.
I can see why, man. This is cinematic. This is cinema. This is cinema.
This is cinema. I also saw an IMAX, which is kind of cheating too, because like
Right.
like I just saw Terrifier 3 at my house, so there's a bit of a different
Yeah, there's difference there. Yeah.
yeah. Also, anyway. So we've wrapped up Nosferatu. Thank you guys for listening again. Please engage with the content. Comment, like, share it, like on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Just get it out there. We appreciate it. We don't know what movie we're going to do next. We have an idea, but we're trying to get back to a more consistent schedule. So please enjoy your day, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye.